good vibrations. Don't tell me your name, I just wanna have some fun. Don't tell me your name, I just wanna have some fun.
There we go.
Beautiful.
What's going on,
Legends, how are
Babs?
we?
How you
Yeah,
doing,
good,
mate?
mate. Yourself?
Mate, going well. Going well. Thank you.
Thanks
How
for
are you?
putting it on.
Yeah, not
My
too
pleasure.
bad. Not too bad at
Pleasure.
all.
So we try and get a guest on the last Monday and the first Monday of each month. And I mean, I've known you for years now, myself personally, and
Absolutely.
wanted to get you on to have a bit of a chat about your DJing and obviously footy as well.
Yep, for
So
sure.
do you want to sort of tell us a little bit about what you do when it comes to the DJing side?
Yeah, so I guess I'll start from the start, and sort of taking us back to COVID and when we were in lockdown, and trying to find something outside of work that you had gave me a bit of a release away from work, because as you know, Taz, obviously we work in a very similar industry, and hence why we've known each other for a long time. It was a pretty taxing time, so it was pretty tough work.
Yep.
And it was nice to try and pick up or I've always been interested in music, but the release inside like that sort of lockdown space was, what the DJing sort of fell into that sort of territory. So it gave me a little bit of a, outside of work interest and bit of something I could do that wasn't kids, wasn't, footy, obviously. There was no footy or anything like that through that period. So,
Yep.
And then from there, it's sort of just gone and strengths. And as I guess my skills have improved and, I've started to look at some other stuff like, music production and those kind of things. So sort of just gone step and step up until this time. So, sort of 5 years down the track and starting to really get some traction and hit the ground running. So you never know what the future's going to hold. But
It's
I guess
fantastic.
yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, listen, I think it's good that, as you guys do, something that you love turns into something that you can do. So it's not, it's not just about sort of, trying to find a passion. Like, the passion was already there. So being able to sort of transform it into something else that's not only really enjoyable but serves a purpose is always a really good outcome. So, I'm
Absolutely.
pretty happy with the way that it's gone and things are going too. Like, it's starting to get a little bit more stressful now that things are getting bigger and bigger, but it is what it is. So
That's good, mate. And to see your growth in, over the last 5 years has been outstanding. You put a lot of time into it and you put a lot of dedication, but your music, even from the first sort of track that you sent through to what you're playing now, there's similarities, but it's also very different at the same time because you've just improved so much.
yeah. And like, I think I'm not sure if Eggy and Toddy, you were part of this early days, but when I jumped on board with Decked and
Yes.
were able to do your, it was one of the first tracks I ever did, was your leading track there. So, thank you guys for jumping on early doors and giving me the support, because I think that, like Taylor said, it's like that. There's always been sort of like I guess a nucleus. It's sort of always been relatively similar, but as I sort of have grown and started to learn new techniques and I think music has changed a lot over that. Like, particularly electronic music's changed quite a lot over that time. So,
Yeah.
it's now I sort of still try to keep to like that electro house sort of roots that I really enjoy listening to, and just try to put my own spin on it. And I guess it's just born from the hours and hours that I listen to music. The more you listen to, the more you get influenced, and hopefully, as particularly the new stuff that I've been making this year, I think it's starting to really sort of form like what my sound's going to be like. I think it's really important that you've got your own identity, and I think at the moment I'm starting to put some stuff together that's sort of really starting to, like, if you listen to it without knowing it was me, you would know it was me. So
Yep.
I think that's important, and it's a pretty big step in the journey. You know, like when you sort of start out, you try and emulate someone, and you try and emulate a sound. So, for example, like I'm a huge Chris Lake fan. You know, I've always tried to emulate his sound because, you know, super groovy. Now trying to keep that as the body, but then trying to emulate, you know, or trying to bring in some of those other influences, particularly, you know, from some of that old school sort of early 2000s electro that I really enjoyed listening to.
Yep.
You know, and just trying to, again, it's just trying to forge my own sort of pathway and forge my own identity in what is a pretty challenging market. So
Yeah,
would
it's
be.
big time. So where can the guys follow you if
yeah, mate, social's probably the best. That's probably where I'm most active via Instagram. The Facebook page is always pretty good as well. But ultimately, the majority of my music sort of, you know, promo and stuff goes through Instagram. But all of my records, so some of my early ones that were all
SoundCloud, that, isn't it?
yeah, so they're on SoundCloud or Spotify. You can find me on Spotify as well. So I've got a bunch of records now on Spotify that I think now I'm looking at. I think I'll release probably 5 tracks this year. Got one coming out next week. And then I'll probably have another, like I've got signed, I think, another 4, but only one has a date so far. So it's a bit later in the year, but
That's good that you're filtering through them, though.
no,
yeah, yeah, I'm getting, like, I think the thing is, as I've sort of started to get better and better, like the records are going out in much better quality. So the labels that I'm like, they're sort of now asking for records rather than like me having to send out, you know, 500 demo emails just for someone to try and buy it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Labels now are coming back and yes, oh well, you know, you did this and it was really good. Can you do us another one? So,
Cool.
yeah, so it's really good. Like, and starting to get some other spread. Like, I've got some records going out in China and Japan, some in the US. Got a label that, you know, we jump on the from Spain. So trying to get a bit of reach outside Australia as well, which is particularly the US market's really pivotal. So if you can get into the US market, you know, realistically, you're accessing, you know, 100 times the people that you are in Australia. So
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, and
A lot bigger over there.
yeah, and the industry is massive over there, just with, you know, the amount of festivals they run. And the beauty with America is it's always summer there somewhere, so there's always something going on. So, you know, not that I'm, you know, looking at trying to obviously get over there, but, you know, just trying to get people to play my music. You know, everyone's having a party or something like that. So
Never say never, though, mate. You might end up.
oh, that's it, mate. That's it. Yeah, well, you never know. You never know.
Just takes one song like Cyril Riley.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. I think that a perfect example that I sort of look at is Odd Mob. I'm not sure if anyone knows him, but he's from Melbourne. And basically we had, you know, he's only, I think he's 25 or something like that, maybe 30. But, you know, just sort of grafted along, and then all of a sudden he had this massive record and now he's touring the world. So, you know, I guess it's happened with everyone. Everyone gets that one chance, and, you know, hopefully one day I'll get that chance, but you never know. We'll see how we go.
Yeah,
never know.
absolutely, mate. Look, we'll get back on footy topic now. Who do you follow? I mean, I know.
Yeah, I'm a mad Hawks man. So it's been well. When I say it's been a pretty good weekend in my house, actually, to be honest, it has been a good weekend in my house, but not because of the Hawks. The rest of my family are all mad Collingwood, so they
So everyone's talking about.
They don't let me celebrate too much about the Hawks, particularly at the moment. But yeah, so the Pies are obviously flying as well, which is good.
Makes your household better.
Well, that's right. Keeps my missus pretty happy, which is always good. You know, you've got to try and make sure that happens.
Absolutely.
And Premiership and Grand Finalists. Who you got for them? We're going to have Collingwood Hawks, are we?
Oh, wouldn't that be a disaster in my place? Actually, to be honest, when the Hawks were going pretty well, Collingwood was starting to come through as well. And I think the 2005 or 2006 flag, Collingwood made the prelim. And so we were trying to, like, there was a lot of influencing in the background of who I was going to barrack for if Collingwood had made the grand final. Obviously, the answer's quite clear, but you've always got the little whispers from my son Harry, who's 10. He wants me to barrack for Collingwood. My son Darcy now, who's only 4, so he's actually more vocal. So he's really in my ear trying to get me to barrack for Collingwood. So I've said to Harry, the only chance I'll ever swap barracking for Hawthorn will be if Harry plays for Collingwood. So that's his he's got to do that. If he can get there and he can play for Collingwood, then I'll jump on board. But other than that, I'm brown and gold all the way.
Love it, mate. So
I think we're a chance. So premierships. Listen, I'd love to say Hawthorn, but I'm still not 100% behind them in terms of this year. I think they've certainly got a pretty good, probably decade ahead of them. But listen, I think we're still going to probably struggle. Collingwood are really good when they fire. But also, sides like Brisbane, Brisbane have just got this immense capability of making grand finals and winning them. So, as much as I don't want to tip Brisbane, I'm probably going to jump behind Brisbane, I reckon.
Brisbane. All right. What about your spoon?
Oh, that's all right. She's all over, isn't it?
West Coast.
I think West Coast have got that already.
Yeah.
But
and then,
that being said, I'm sorry, Toddy, but I'm still not all
I'm
keen
not sold
on
the
the Kangas, mate. Yeah.
No.
Well,
It'll be the battle of the spoon over there, I think.
Yeah. Listen, they've had some good signs, but
no, I'm not sold either. I'm the most anti-North person there is at the moment.
I thought you were anti-Pies, but
definitely is anti-Pies.
Yeah, it's a shame that Clarko hasn't got him firing because I think he will. I think they'll be fine, but
they got to show something soon, though. They can't just keep giving excuses, I don't think.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Listen, I hope they stick by him because 2003 or whatever it was before when Clarko first took over the Hawks, they were putrid. They were absolutely horrible, and 10 years later they'd won 4 flags. So I think he has the knowledge, he has the ability. It's just about their list isn't excellent either. They've still got a bit of work to do there, but they'll be right, mate.
No, that's it. They'll get in. And just before we let you go, Coleman and Brownlow.
Brownlow, oh shit. Yeah, you know what? I'd love to see the Bont, mate. I'd love to see the Bont get over the line, and I think that his return on the weekend was impressive. So I think if he can stay on the park for the rest of the year and he always polls reasonably evenly. He's a pretty good poller, and they're not great either, the Bulldogs. So if he can go well, he'll probably poll in every game.
Yeah, he's given them a 6-week head start though. So
yeah, but I've seen funny things happen. I've seen people have won Brownlows in 12 games. So
that's it.
I think he's a good poll getter. He gets votes, so I think he'll be a real chance. So I'm going to jump behind him because it's a great story as well.
Yeah, I want to see the Bont win one. He should have won 3 already.
And then the second question was the Coleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really hard one. It's so even. And
it's real close at the moment.
Sides don't kick a lot of goals anymore. So, I don't know. I'm going to go pretty left field. I might jump behind Paddy Dangerfield. I think he's, particularly as the season stretches out, I think he'll spend a lot more time forward. So,
fielder.
He's a good kick for goal too. So he doesn't miss many.
No.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Look, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate
it. Absolute pleasure.
Thanks for coming on.
Put your links in chat.
But before you go, everything's in the description below. You can check out his Instagram, his Linktree, and his SoundCloud, all down below in the description. So make sure to check him out. I will give it a plug. Good Vibrations is my favourite, but I don't mind about you as well.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I've got another one coming out, as I mentioned, on the 9th of May called Oh My God Whatever, which is inspired by my beautiful but challenging sometimes 12-year-old daughter.
Keep our ears peeled, mate.
Yeah, keep it out.
Thanks again, mate.
That's a really good one. So thanks, guys. But hey, love your work. Love jumping on. Long time listener, first time caller. Absolutely love it, guys. So thanks so much for having me on.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Look after yourself, Fat Controller.
See you, boys.
See you, buddy.
See you soon.